Okay, well the time has come for the off-grid fridge. So I'm gonna try to get all this stuff put together, get some solar panels outside, and see if I can run some wire under the house up here and get this thing going. This thing has been amazing. It's super efficient. It only really draws 50 watts, and it's not a continuous 50 watts. It's 50 watts every once in a while. As soon as its temperature goes down a little bit, then it draws it up. Been using a solar generator, and it's been handling this thing super easily. But we are swamped for space. All right, this is leftovers. We don't have such small Tupperware, yogurt, all that. And we have to go to the store every couple days. Now, we moved out here so that we could be more sort of self-reliant, save on gas. And this thing just isn't big enough for a family of 7. Here's the freezer. To be able to have meals kind of throughout the week without having to go to town and go to the store. So I'm gonna get that solar generator hooked up, and hopefully that'll save us some gas. And I'd like to say thank you to our sponsor for today's video, Redodo. They sent me out this beautiful 12.8 volt 100 amp hour battery. What I love about this battery, it's a lithium iron phosphate battery, meaning they're much more energy dense than your traditional lead acid battery. They're extremely compact, lightweight, weighing only around 18 pounds for this particular battery, and they pack a punch. These are a long-lasting battery, rated about 4,000 charge cycles to 80% of their original capacity. They've got a 10-year lifespan and about a 5-year warranty. Now, I don't actually do battery reviews because I'm not super knowledgeable about batteries. But I looked into this battery, and one of the things I looked at was reviews of it by professionals such as Will Prowse. He reviewed this battery and he rated it super high on all of his tests. He was blown away when he did a teardown of this battery, and he found its components were identical to a much more expensive battery. You're really getting a great deal with these batteries. If you're looking at getting some batteries for your off-grid setup, I would look at Redodo. And you can get a 5% discount if you put in Jack Pemby. Links are in the description. So this is a solar fridge. And that means that instead of it just plugging straight to the wall, which I suspect it probably has the capability of doing, it just has these 2 wires ready to be stripped, and they've already been cut. So I'll probably need some pliers to pull that off. And this hooks up directly to the battery. Potentially, it might be able to hook up directly to a charge controller. I'll have to see if that's a possibility. But if not, then I'll just have to put some lugs on the end of this and directly hook it up to the battery. I'll have to have the solar panels come in and hook up to a charge controller. Charge controller charges the battery from the solar, and then from the DC direct current will run the fridge. So I'm gonna start getting this together. That should be good. Alright, so I tried doing it with the end of this bit. Looks like it's for cutting, but it's kind of small. And then I ended up cutting quite a bit of the copper wire out, so I tried it with a knife. I think that'll work good. So I've got my positive and my negative. So next thing to do, and I've got the other section, these parts will go to the charge controller. And these ones get hooked up to the MC4 connectors. So I've got this bag of connectors to hook up. So I got one out here. So the positive gets the male. And how to tell male, female, male goes in female. It's just how you tell, that's just what it is. It's just, that's it. It's male goes in female. That's what these things are. So this comes off, screws off. This goes through it. And then this goes over the top and cinches. Now, there's these metal bits that go inside the MC4 components, and the male bit gets the female bit on the inside. It's just how it goes. So the male bit has the female bit on the inside, and the female bit has the male bit on the inside. So that first, before we put this together, the wire needs to get crimped into here. All right, so I got that wire too long, so I'm going to cut that a bit. Twist. Get that placed in there. I better get this thing ready first. Now this came with my pretty much the locks for batteries, so I'm not sure if it's going to work as well for this. These have bigger ends, but I'm going to give it a go. If not, I'm going to have to use the pliers because I don't have the right thing. And this is going to be tricky, I think. Okay, see how that worked. So I bent one in and the other one went out. So that was probably user error, but I'm gonna see if I can fix this with my pliers here. Okay, well, that should do the trick. So now I'm gonna try to get this all together. This piece goes in here. Yeah, so that, as far as that goes, this gets tightened up. Crimps onto the line, that piece. And there we go. We have our male positive line. And that will hook up directly to the solar panel system. I'm gonna have two solar panels hooked up in series. I'll show you that when I'm doing that. I think that did it. Alright, so I'm going to take these outside now and feed them up through the floor underneath the house to here. I'm going to feed this line through because these are the lines that hook up to the charge controller. That's where you are. Wait. Okay, I found the hole. So I've just got here a Rover 40 amp MPPT charge controller. I'll be running two, I believe they're 240 watt panels. I haven't looked in a while, I bought them a little while ago. I did the math when I was ordering this and I thought this was the right way to go. I guess we will see. It was highly rated, that's why I bought it. This on top, get a pen, draw these lines. And then it's got these little kind of keyhole hooks. If I put a screw in, I should be able to put it in and it will hook down. What I realized about the cables that I thought I bought 50 feet long cables, but I bought 50 feet of cables, 25 feet each. So that's not great. But we'll see if I can make it work for now. This is a temporary sort of setup right now. There we go. Nice. So I bought this as a triple line from Home Depot. It's got a positive, negative, neutral. I was just going to use it for the home solar system when I set my solar panels out here. And the amount of feet that I bought wasn't long enough. After watching through the winter, I realized that the house goes lower and the house was blocking it. So I actually need to buy longer line, and I didn't feel kind of comfortable splicing it all together. So I'm just going to buy more. So I'll be using this stuff probably for more like my battery bank cables and stuff like that. But I'll have to check to see for my big battery bank if this wire is going to be thick enough for that. I'm gonna cut that wire. I'm gonna take that out, cut that wire down a little bit because there's just a little bit of wires showing there. So if I cut it about 1/4 inch, I can get that protective rubber right up against it, or even in there. Well, I was hoping to get it done tonight. Won't get it done tonight. It's just raining too hard. I don't want to be messing around with wires in this kind of wet. It's probably going to be raining like a little bit in the morning, not too bad. Hopefully the sun will shine through. But let's pick it up in the morning after I've had a coffee. Well, there's 6 here, so we have to catch one little piglet. All right, let's go get it. You're being a little picky with the food. It's gonna be hard. All right, try to get in front of it. How about you get up there? I'll kind of chase it towards you. All right, stop there, bud. Actually, stop there. Come back. Oh, she's come out. Oh, no. Hello. Ready to do it with the camera in hand?
Fence now, so.
Yeah. Yep. That branch. Oh no. There you go. Good job. Now she gets to test her vocal range. You're okay. You're okay. It's all good. Good girl. All right. Bring it back with mama.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just had a little bit of an early morning move for the pigs. So the canopy in here is blocking out the sun. It's just not letting enough sun for these solar fence chargers to charge up enough, even with the bit that I cleared out. So we got to move them to a sunnier spot and a grassier spot. Oh gosh. So that went pretty well. It was very stress-free. All the piglets followed mom except for one got a little lost, but you know what? Lachlan netted her up pretty quickly and now they're all over there in a sunny spot. So I'm just gonna go get the fence charger hooked up for them. Your hand's slipping up. Oh, you okay?
Yeah, it's good.
There's a rock there. The girls used the cream up last night making some chamomile tea, so I took some of their ice cream and put that on my coffee. I think the Italians call it affogato. Well, I think it's more of a dessert thing where they have a ton of ice cream, pour a little bit of coffee on it. Seems super irresponsible for the morning, but it's good. It's very good. Didn't have to add cream or sugar. All done in one go. How's your cookie? Is it good? What a cutie boy. Oh man, we had a misty morning when I woke up, and then some of the pigs got out, so Lachlan and I moved those, but it was so misty you couldn't even see what we call a little mountain over here peeking out above the trees. All you could see was just above the tree line was just like white, and everything was just like a cloud just up here. But things are starting to clear out. It's you can feel it's getting humid. Today it's going to be 30 degrees Celsius. With the real feel is going to be like 37. Oh, which in Fahrenheit is 37. It's like about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Woo! It's gonna be toasted today. Anyways, I want to get the fridge hooked up. Gonna work on that this morning after I drop my girls off. They're gonna go to Gaelic camp. It's Gaelic's the language of the Irish and the Scottish. We have our Celtic roots, so we send our kids to Gaelic camp, and yeah, they learn the language and, you know, the step dance and all that stuff, and they absolutely love it. So we're gonna send them, or drop them off there, and then when we get back, we're gonna start hooking all the wiring back up and get everything settled and get that fridge rolling so I can get some cream for my coffee. So I changed the two little wires that I had that I bought for the solar system. They were just 25 feet. I thought I bought 50 feet. And I couldn't get those wires to go far enough to where I could actually utilize the sun all day. I could just have them kind of in the driveway. And even though this is just a temporary setup, and I'm going to be adjusting it in the future for a permanent setup, I still want to not have to move the solar panels around, and I want them to get the maximum amount of sun to keep the battery charged, to keep the fridge going. So I took this 6-gauge wire and ran it through the floor and out, and that gets us far enough, and it's really heavy duty wire, so we're not going to really, I wouldn't imagine, lose pretty much any solar. So hopefully this works. We're going to give it a go. Good. Okay, so I just got the positive done for the battery. This hooks up to the 40 amp fuse that I put there. Probably should have got a 50 amp fuse. It's a 40 amp solar charge controller, but I think this will be okay. We'll give it a go anyways. If it doesn't seem to do the trick, then we'll put it up to 50 amp. So we've got it going from the charge controller to the fuse, and then this goes from the fuse to the battery. This is the negative. This goes directly from the charge controller to the battery. And I'm gonna get everything hooked up except for the battery and the solar panels. A little bit over lock. Right over. About there probably. Put that in that pile over there. Yeah, it'll be in line though. So we'll try it like that. Gotta have something under there. Yeah, I'm just trying to do this so we for grass, but we can kind of whippersnip. Yeah, we'll stick like a couple boards under there. All that heat. Okay, so we're gonna hook up these panels, 2 panels in series. You can see here we're gonna get sun all the way from morning all the way to afternoon, which means we're gonna get the most out of them. So hopefully it was a good idea to use this cord. I was just able to fit this 6-gauge wire into these MC4 connectors. You definitely wouldn't be able to fit anything bigger than that into it. So to do series, you have to take the positive of one panel and the negative of the other one. And then you hook those up together. So that's hooked up in series. And then you just take your negative, hook it up to your positive, and your positive, hook it up to your negative. And then you've got it running in series. But I want to go inside. I want to hook the battery up first. I looked up and it said that's kind of what you want to do, is hook the battery up, load up, and then the PV array, solar array. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so I hooked the battery up before and the charge controller didn't turn on. So I kind of realized these connectors, I was using the wrong ones. I thought I could just push the metal up there and it'd be tight on there, but that's not how it goes. So I used these proper ones where the metal just fits in, and then I crimped it, and now now it's working good. So next step is, so right now it's showing 13.2, which is of 12 volts. So let's go through the manual, a bit, but first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and hook up the solar panels and see if this starts charging. Okay, so for the meantime, I'm just going to try to just use one panel, see how that goes. I got to do a little bit more research. With series, this goes up to like 48 volts. The charge controller I have is a 12-24 volt, and the battery that we're charging is a 12 volt. So I have to do a bit more research and see how that goes, but I'm going to try using one panel and seeing if that starts charging the battery. One thing I had to do, which I realized when I was out here, was I had the male MC4 thing on the positive and the female on the negative. but that's the way it is on the solar panel, so I actually had to switch those around so that these connect to each other. Okay, so I've got the symbol here. So solar is hooked up and it's showing it going to the battery. 24 volts, 10.4 amps, and the battery is 13.5 volts. So I've got a symbol there from battery to load. So it says here that this button turns on load. So if I press that, that should turn the fridge on. Oh, I got a light there. I can hear it turning on. Okay, let's see if it's... Hey, and we have a fridge. That's awesome. Okay, let's see what it's saying. It's saying it's 5. I'm seeing 5.5 to 6 amps going out, and 11.2 amps going in. So it doesn't show watts. Not a toy, Bubba. Let's let that get cool so we can put some food in it. Okay. The temperature here is 32 degrees. With the real fuel, it's closer to 40. So we're gonna go to the beach soon. Okay, let's see if we can figure this out. So, times 10.4, let's say. So it's saying we've got about 250 watts coming in. I think that's about right. I think the solar panels aren't that big though. I think they're 230 watts. Anyways, we have power coming in and we've got power coming out and the fridge is on. So I think we're just gonna have to do a little bit more research and make sure that everything's running well. And I'm gonna go through this manual a little bit more, but as it seems right now, systems are a go. So we can start getting the fridge filled up once it's cooled down. Well, this is my favorite beach to go to. It's just lovely. There's always lots of lobsters and crabs and stuff to follow around and film in here too. Aggressive little buggers, the lobsters. Fortunately, we're not allowed to catch them and keep them. Only the trappers are allowed that. Anyways, I'm gonna get under. Well guys, we just got back from the beach. It was a beautiful day, super hot. I got some serious sun today and a serious sweat on. And we got home, the fridge was super cold. I put some ice in the ice cube tray and it was almost finished. And we were only gone for, I don't know, hour and a half or so. But anyways, we got a fridge. It's a huge milestone for us. It may not seem like a big thing, but having a full fridge, it's a huge milestone for what we're doing here. And I'm just so relieved that it's all working out so good. Thanks for Redodo for sending me that battery. It's working out amazing. I'll know more about how the whole system's working after we've had it running for I'd say probably about a week. And I'll touch base more on that, the system, and see if I can improve it. But it's gonna be it for this episode. I think we're gonna close the episode now. Gonna close the episode.